Well, I mean, Maggie Thatcher is nobody's victim, that's for sure. But you put out a tweet recently that read, and I'm going to quote it for our viewers here, "Isn't it weird that people paint me as right-wing because I advocate for the rights of women, people like myself with learning difficulties and the working class? And it's always privileged left-wingers that abuse me. I accept that there's no working class young women in the media. I accept the fact that I am from a disadvantaged background. That's why the left hate me much more than any other commentator. They believe someone like myself should know their place." Sophie, those are fighting words. Are you getting a little tired of the privileged left gatekeeping the voice of the working class?
Yeah, I think so, and it just really annoys me. I think that's the one thing that, you know, the guys called Just Stop Oil, when they glue themselves to the road, that's why they really aggravate me, because these are some of the most privileged human beings ever that are funded by the bank of mum and dad, that go to university, they've never had to earn a living, that come to communities like mine in Thurrock, and, you know, they're not from Thurrock, so, you know, unless they've rowed down the River Thames, they've used oil to get there. And they reap havoc on working class towns like mine, and they show absolutely no regard for people here. I regard them as bullies, basically. I think that's what they're doing. And I just think it's a grim thing, having rich, wealthy people advocate for policies that ultimately make the lives of working class people harder. And that's all of the green stuff. I'm very anti-green because I feel like it's very anti-working class. But it's always coming from these posh, entitled lefties that really, to be honest, the reason why the left, a lot of these left-wingers are really pro-green is because all of them hate themselves. They're all self-hating, embarrassed rich, as I call them. They're all sort of embarrassed by their so-called privilege. So what they think is that by advocating for policies that make the lives of the poor harder because they believe it will save the planet, it makes them feel like good people. That's what they want to do. All net zero is there for is to make the rich people feel good about themselves at the expense of the living standards and freedoms of the poor.
That's very well said, Sophie, and so true. I mean, you can see it when they hold up the little iPhones and start taking photographs of themselves, sticking themselves to pavements. It's not exactly genuine environmentalism as we know it. But on the topic of politics, you had an unfortunate experience with conservative politics in the UK a little while ago, but you once described yourself as the most notable young conservative female in the country. Was it jealousy that brought you down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still the most notable female.
Brought you down in that particular circumstance. I think I'll rephrase that one for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, again, like I said, very in a similar way to Margaret Thatcher is, there's still the very elitist element of the Conservative Party in the UK. And it has that twinge to it in politics. And the fact of the matter is, they didn't like the fact that a woman like myself, who had come from nowhere, who is very working class, and I openly advocate for conservatism with working people at its core. They didn't like the fact that I was there and that I was, you know, taking the spotlight. So yeah, I mean, it's pure jealousy. I think a lot of the stigma towards me from the conservative side of things just comes from jealousy, and obviously the left hate me because I'm everything they claim to be.